Early 6 a.m. coffee with Shanda, and I'm here with Toni Davis. Hi, Toni. How are you? So we are going to chat. Hopefully, we're going to be an inspiration and an interruption to your mind as you're building a business, whatever it is that you're working on. I was talking about the impossible dream yesterday, and this week is all about how to become more productive, how to be more productive, how to set visions and goals and create exactly what you want. And while we're doing that, unfortunately, we have these moments of we hit these walls and we wonder, can I do it? You know, Toni's got a story of, wondering, even though she was successful before, like, can I do it as she becomes an entrepreneur? And so she's been able to create $21,000 in about 2 months or just under 2 months. She's been able to attract additional 2,500 people that are new possible buyers, possible clients for her. But the point is that they're targeted and they're more of an ideal client base than going out to a networking group and throwing spaghetti up against the wall and seeing, wow, will something stick someday? And can I help some people? So as you're joining, hello. If you're watching this on YouTube, afterwards, welcome to Coffee with Shanda. We do this Monday through Friday at an ungodly hour, 6 a.m. Pacific. That's why my hair's in a bun today. Versus that, Toni, you don't have to worry about that. You got some.
No. I almost wear my baseball cap because I'm like, well, you wear a baseball cap once in a while. I'm like, this is early.
I do, and my hair is like really long. So doing it in the morning, it's still wet from my shower last night. So, so we're keeping it real here on 6 a.m. Coffee with Shanda. So Toni, I would love you to just share a little bit about, when you originally met me at the Zone event, and you were introduced to the Zone event by two of your clients, right? Who are also people in our community.
Yeah.
And they enrolled you to come to our Zone event, and shit changed at the Zone event.
Right, shit changed.
Right? Shit changed at the Zone event. You decided to take yourself on and start a company.
That's right. Yeah. So I was saying earlier that, I have this kind of rule in my life when I hear things 3 times that I'm like, I pay attention. And so I kept running into these couple of clients of ours and I'm like, what is this Zone event? And finally, after this 3rd time of running into someone at Lofty Coffee, I'm like, okay, I should pay attention. So I came home and I'm like, I'm going to go to the Zone event. And I was like, what is the Zone event? I'm like, I don't know, but I'll be gone for 3 days. So when I got there, the language that you speak from the stage, is something that's really resonated with me, which is this whole thing of standing for people and enrolling people in your actions. And, I think that was probably the thing that I needed to hear from myself, was that I already knew that I could stand for myself, but I needed somebody else to say it to me. Yeah. And, coming from the stage and realizing, and obviously the inspiration of all the people that get up on that stage and tell their stories, those are real life things that change people's lives. And so I give you a lot of kudos for the things that you do to inspire us to be better. And, I realized at that moment that if I didn't take it on, that I was leaving money on the table for myself.
Yeah.
And I said, this was the exact words I said when I got on the phone and said, hey, we're going to do this. And this is a 12-month commitment for us. I was like, I have to stand for this, and I have to stand for something. And if I don't stand for myself right now, I probably won't do this.
Isn't that crazy? Great awareness, by the way.
I also said, I think every good coach needs a good coach. And if I try to be a good business coach, which is what I do in my business, then I'm doing it in a vacuum. I think I know what I'm doing, but, even the little bits of things that we learn, in our process with you, they're just nice reminders sometimes for me to like get out of my own way.
Yeah. Let me just share this little piece. I was just coaching a client of mine yesterday, and she's doing another jump, and she'll do about $84,000 in about a month and a half. And it's actually me. I took 2 things off her plate. So often we push, like there's this intensity that entrepreneurs have to push to get ahead. But if you push to get ahead, often what you're doing is you're putting too many things on your plate. This drives my clients in Pace Club. It drives them nuts because they're like, give me more, give it faster, give it harder. And I'm like, your issue isn't that. Your issue is just stay in the present moment, chill the F out, and just allow this thing to build out for you. Pushing harder doesn't mean more. But my point in sharing that with you is that That person, my client, referred somebody else to come work with us in another group that we do. And she's already got a really successful company. And I was talking to her and she said, well, is there any private coaching? And I'm like, well, here's the deal. This next level after Pace Club, which is marketing mastery, it's not about feeding anymore. It's about innovation, right? And so the goal is to get entrepreneurs off codependency, off needing hand-holding, off this idea that I'm not getting supported enough, off all of those conversations mentally so that they can be free to create what they want. I pay $100,000 a year for coaching, and I go 6 times. I do 3 meetings for 2 days. So I see my mentor 6 times over the year in total for $100,000. But what's even crazier is I'm going to be in Barbados for one of those meetings. So I'm only going to get to see him 4 times, but I'll still pay $100,000. Now, why would somebody do that? Well, first of all, like what you just said, it's like these tweaks, and these small tweaks yield huge results if you actually just stay in the small tweak and do it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Totally.
So you had a very different life before, and I always say this, like your history gives me clues on where to take you to the future. So your history was what?
So my background is actually, I was super blessed. I got into the fitness industry when I was in my early 20s, and I became a high-powered executive. At like 24, I was running multi-million-dollar fitness facilities and big brand, luxury brand fitness facilities. So I ended up working for venture capital groups that built like the Ritz-Carlton and doing hotel fitness resorts and hospitality. So I'm Ritz-Carlton trained. So big luxury brand, 10-acre properties, multi-million-dollar kind of country club type properties. And I did that, and I did it really well, and I was really successful. And then I just completely crashed about 5 years ago. And I just said, I can't do this anymore. I had 2,000 employees at one time. I'm like, this is just insane. And my adrenals were like running out of my back. They were fried. So I ended up moving back to San Diego, and I went into a really completely different field, which was nutrition, still within the wellness space, but treating myself to the luxury myself of having some downtime. And I thought, well, I'm just going to go find a sales job. And that's what I did. And I did it really well here in San Diego. And we still work with inside that nutrition company. But I started working with integrative doctors. Mm-hmm. And I would go into these clinics, these functional medicine doctors, and I'm sure you're familiar with a lot of them around San Diego. And I'd go into these clinics and I would have these business conversations with them. And I would be having conversations with them around their company and their business well outside of what I was there to really do, and started giving away a lot of advice. And I know you've talked about this before, but we probably are very talented in what we do, and then we end up giving it away for free. The only difference is I just decided to start charging for it. Right?
So then you went to the Zone event, you learned how to do an online show, you learned how to create your own online show, you attracted 2,500 new people now. And now your phone's starting to ring off the hook, right? Yeah. Talk to people.
Yeah. So what I did, which was really fun, is inside of my show, I offered people a strategy session with me. And I had no idea what I was going to say or what I was going to do. And I'm like, okay, I'll probably even jump in the gun here. But I had 95 appointments on my books.
That's great.
Right? And that was the stepping off point. And then I realized, and this comes to all of the fantastic coaches that are inside of Pace, because I picked up the phone and I started calling people like, what do I do? How do I do this? What's the right way to do this? And I started having those aha moments. It was really great. That first person that said yes. Then I was like, oh, I have to figure out how to take your money. Like, okay, I'll PayPal you.
Yeah.
Right.
All the fun moments of being an entrepreneur. It's like I work so hard to figure out how to get clients, and then like, what am I going to sell the clients now? And then you're like, oh wow, okay, now I know what to sell them. It's like, now there's a yes. How do I take your money?
It's exactly what I'm doing.
So fun.
Yeah.
So fun. So now you're helping people in the fitness world, the nutrition world, functional medicine doctors, how to build businesses, create their signature programs, like all the things that you just have been able to pick up over the years and be able to be really good at. And I think that's a good testament for, I'm sure you can say this now, and I'd love to hear your advice on this. What advice would you give to someone who either is a client of ours doing the online show right now? Let's start there. If you're a client, let's make a difference for the people who are clients of ours who are doing the online show right now. What exactly did you do in your interviews that caused people to sign up to talk to you? So if you're joining Coffee with Shanda, you don't know what an online show is, it's kind of what Toni and I are doing right now, but we do it privately so that it's not available for the public. And we give like content, like it could be a class, it could be, for me, it might be like how to create a product in an interview. It might be how to make an offer in an interview. You know, Toni had hers, right? So it's like, it's hidden content that's only available for people unless they subscribe to it. It's kind of like you can't get into Hulu, some of the Hulu or Netflix channels without paying a membership, right? But we give it for free, but they've got to subscribe so that we have the content, their contact information, and then we start to drip out these amazing, valuable interviews. And so when Toni was doing her interviews, she was saying that she was sharing some details where people had access to her to reach out to her to start talking to her. And at that point, she was able to serve them, help them, and then make them an offer, right? So what did you do in your actual interviews that?
Well, I think afraid of me. Your little echo.
Nope.
The thing that was that I made myself the expert on the calls, right? So even though I was interviewing these amazing, like New York Times bestselling authors and functional medicine doctors that are like internationally known doctors and big names, big brands, I was bantering. I was having fun with it. You know, I realized that, you know, my whole show was about how to break out of your brick and mortar. And for a wellness professional, they are trading time for money. Yeah. That's what they do, right? I can only see so many clients, so many patients in a day. And when people ask me what I do, my mantra is actually, I help healers heal people. My service to the world is helping these great, amazing healers have the bandwidth and the financial freedom so that they can serve more people. Fortunately for us, technology lets them do that in a bigger, broader way. So when I was online with my show, I was really cognizant of the fact that I needed to make myself be the expert on the show. And now when people talk to me, and it's really crazy, and I'm sure you experienced this early on yourself, is that people are like, you really know what you're talking about. And I'm like, I think I know what I'm talking about. And they're like, well, we saw you on your show. So it's like, it's the Oprah effect, right? All of a sudden I am literally elevated because I must be somebody. And that really started this whole, beautiful cascade of people reaching out to me. And then from there, I just immediately started saying, okay, how can I serve?
So take us into the show for a second. So you're doing the show, you're interviewing someone. I know people are like, what did you say?
So what did I say? My big thing with my opportunities around the people listening is I kept pulling them into my conversation. And I would stop my speakers and say, let's go back to that. Because for those who are listening to us right now, I want to make sure they really pay attention to this tip that you're giving them or this tool that you're giving them. And hey, if you're listening right now, this is how you access this person. And this is what our free gift's going to be at the end. And, this is how you reach out to me. So in every piece of marketing, I had a plug so that people could literally click onto that and access my calendar to have a 30-minute free strategy session with me. Right. I mentioned it at every single one of my interviews. And I even have, since my show, I've collaborated with some of these speakers. So like now I'm doing a digital marketing training in my drip email campaigns with Robert Hughes, who's a mastermind at brand marketing. So it's just been a lot of fun from that perspective. But I really made it a point of saying, like, I'm collaborating with this particular person who's speaking on this particular topic right now. And I have business coaches on my show. I had other people that do the exact same thing in my industry.
They have their client bases that are following that are your exactly there. I just don't believe that there's any shortage anywhere. There's just, when we work together and we look up and we generously support each other, there's more business to go around. And, people love to get more information, more support from other people. So I love that you took your history and took, you allowed to take your, there's a woman right now, a good friend of mine who's in Pace Club. and she worked for corporate America. She still works for corporate America. And she's segueing out and she's like, I really just have a heart for like women in leadership and helping women just become better leaders in corporate America and step up and use their voice so that they can lead. It's so funny because she's leaving the big teams, but she knows that there's a group of people, a group of women who want to lead the big teams. Right. Yeah. And so we all have these evolutions where it's like, okay, been there, done that. I'm ready for a new chapter in my life. And I think that's a big thing that Pace Club and doing the online shows gives you, that next door opening for your life. It's like, okay, I've been there, done that, kind of over this now. I want to do something new. It gives you choice. It gives you an opportunity to choose what it is that you want to write your future. And the cool thing is once you learn how to do the online show, you can put yourself, like if you, Toni, decided you're like, you know, this is awesome. I'm loving business coaching, but you know what? I actually want to do more of an agency.
Yeah.
Right? I want to move more into an agency where I'm not the celebrity. I can start bringing some other people into, you know, my company that are even better than me. Like I'm in talent acquisition at I was almost like Coldwell Banker. That was my corporate job at HeartCore, where I'm doing talent acquisition of people who are incredible. Like our SEO team is insane. Jessica, who runs it. Tiffany, who's our marketing manager, does all e-commerce used to do e-commerce for Robert Kiyosaki. And you know what I mean? Like good people that the company can run. And now we're having these celebrities ask us, we don't want to do that. Can you just do it for us? So now this agency, you know, model is starting to get burst. So the cool thing about becoming an entrepreneur and doing it the way that Toni's doing it is that you can actually allow not only your heart to determine what's the next door I want to walk through, because now you have the power to instantly, I mean, Toni, you took 90 days, right? To do your show and build your list.
Yeah, I would say it was just a little under 90 days.
Okay, so here's what's cool. You can now do that in 30, 45 days, right? You could have somebody else do the online shows. I know we're talking about a strategy where you're the Oprah and you're collaborating, but you can also do it where you can actually, if someone doesn't want to do it anymore, you want to leverage, you can have somebody else take your spot, which is something we're looking at right now inside of our company, because we want to do way more shows, right? I do Coffee with Shanda. We want to do way more private shows where somebody else is edifying HeartCore, because we don't want me to be the celebrity in it anymore, because we want to just grow our methodology so the company can grow much larger without me having to be there. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah. Because one of the main things that happened through this too, I quickly landed on this, is that I'm like, oh, I'm still trading my own time for money, right? Because I'm having to service these clients now one by one. Yeah. And up to the point where I'm like, I don't even think I could take any more one-on-one clients. So I'm moving into a group business model. That's right. What you're saying is absolutely the way to grow your business, right? Like at some point I have to look at it from a big picture standpoint where it's like not.
What's beautiful though is you don't have a business if you don't have buyers. You don't have a business if you don't have clients. And I think that's the hard part that people get inside their head. They're like, well, they get stuck on, what am I going to sell? Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, if you would have gotten stuck there, you wouldn't be where you are today, where already in 90 days, you're in a conversation of, okay, I see the writing on the wall that I'm going to have to expand this, where I teach my methodology one-to-many. Yes. Right? So what advice would you give somebody who is stuck on the conversation of, I don't know what I'm going to sell?
You'll figure it out. That's the biggest thing for me. I was like, I know enough to be dangerous, but I don't know everything. And so my big thing was, I'm like, I will figure this out. I just have to start bringing in those clients. And now I'm having fun with it. Now my clients and we're having great conversations. I mean, life-changing conversations for these women that I'm working with right now. They happen to all be women right now. But that is like the biggest thing. I think that we sit in this space where we get stuck in we don't know, which is just fear. And, you know, I think that if you can create a vacuum for yourself of getting people to support you, whether it's in this program, whether it's outside in your life that you're enrolling people, as soon as you have people who are believing in you, as much as you're trying to believe in yourself, you figure it out. You just break down those barriers for yourself. And then the ideas just start flowing. And I agree with you, less is more. So get rid of the minutia in your life and focus on your business, and things start creatively flowing to you. I mean, that's the divine stuff of the universe, right? Like you just get out of your own way, believe in yourself, believe in your own faith, and things start to flow. That's my big advice.
I agree with you. Well, it's also an entrepreneur power habit, and an entrepreneur power habit is where you habitually get yourself into a mindset that you can just stay in the present moment, which we already said, but realize that you're going to have to keep developing the skill of just figuring it out. And that, the whole vision of growing a company is to allow yourself to be in the place of saying, what do I want next? And what do they want? Right? And then you put all your focus on what they want. And then just remember that for you, it's just the conversation of how much are you willing to give to be able to serve that? And that's where pricing starts to come into play. So people always ask me pricing questions. I mean, you and I know some of the top, New York Times best-selling people in the fitness nutritional world. And I have clients that are charging more than them because they don't have a model that they think that, oh, well, fitness, nobody will pay for fitness, or nobody will pay, and I'm like, well, yeah, people that are charging $1,500, $2,000 a month for fitness programs, but yes, of course, there are also programs out there that are, $299 a month, right? And so it's about the packaging and the positioning. And the question now becomes, this is the greatest thing about an entrepreneur, is that when you build an audience of raving fans, they will start to tell you, and then when you bring on clients, they'll start to tell you what they want more of, right? And as they start to do that, you ask yourself, okay, so what do I want? Well, I want more free time to travel with my wife, my husband, my whatever, to whatever. I want to take a year off where I'm traveling around the world and I'm not I don't want to not work, but I don't want to be on calls because I don't know what the time zone's going to be. I want to be free for a year. It's like, okay, so they want this, but I need this. Mm-hmm. So what am I willing to charge to give them that? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And then that's how pricing gets created, because then when you're not attached to getting and you're only focused on giving, what happens is you just say, here, I'm willing to give you this, and this is what the price is. And then it no longer becomes a sales, race. Yes. It becomes your audience starts telling you, and your client base starts telling you what they want. And then as long as you keep providing it for them at the price that makes you happy, to sacrifice, because there's always a sacrifice, to sacrifice something in your life that works, right? So you're always giving something to receive something. Now you have a business that continues to fuel you and challenges you. And now you're on your edge. It's a beautiful gift. A beautiful gift. So Toni, we're coming to an end already. We're already 4 minutes over. So any last advice you want to give to entrepreneurs who are studying Watching Coffee with Shanda right now?
Watch your mindset. Watch your mindset. I think, starting your day off in the morning with a practice, a ritual, whatever your ritual is, mine happens to be prayer or meditation, but whatever it looks like for you, that I think is the biggest thing, because then the whole day is just beautiful. The whole day just flows for you and it just falls into alignment, but those days when I don't do it, I know are my struggle days. So watch your mindset, start your day off right with some type of practice, whether it's mindset, rituals, meditation, exercise, whatever it is.
Yeah, a friend of mine who has a spiritual book next to his bed, and he just wakes up and he reads that first thing. He always notices if he doesn't read that first thing, that it throws off his entire day. So get your mind right. Thank you, Toni. I appreciate you being here with us on 6 a.m. Coffee with Shanda. And I hope that you have an extraordinary day. Hold on 1 second as I end this broadcast. If you are watching Coffee with Shanda and you're interested in getting our help, you can see that in the comments section or in the description section, or just go to helpmeshanda.com. And very easy to find, helpmeshanda.com. And we will help you discuss what your business looks like and what a next plan could be for you, depending on what your vision is and what you want to create in your life. So bye. Please take a moment and leave us a comment. Let us know exactly what your big takeaway was. And we love to read them, and have a fantastic day. Talk to you soon. Bye.